Science, medicine, and nature. What is the medical term for a persistent ringing, buzzing, or hissing sound in the ears? Tinnitus. Which chronic neurological disorder is characterized by an uncontrollable and overwhelming urge to sleep during the day? Narcolepsy. According to Charles's law, the volume of a fixed amount of gas under constant pressure is directly proportional to which variable? Temperature. Which prehistoric marine arthropods, named for the three distinct longitudinal lobes of their bodies, have over 20,000 identified fossil species? Trilobites. What astronomical events feature Bailey's beads, which are brief spots of sunlight passing through lunar topography? Solar eclipses. Which German mathematician independently developed calculus around the same time as Isaac Newton? Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. Which marine mammal has a ringed subspecies found exclusively in Russia's Lake Ladoga? Seal. What medical term describes the protrusion of an organ or tissue through an abnormal opening, which can become dangerous if strangulated? Hernia. What small endangered New World monkey found in Brazil is named for its vibrant golden-orange fur and mane? Tamarin. Which specific scientific category is common to both Linus Pauling and Marie Curie, the only individuals to win Nobel Prizes in two different fields? Chemistry. What psychoactive, plant-based brew native to the Amazon basin is used in traditional spiritual ceremonies? Ayahuasca. Geography, history, and politics. Which mountain range stretches over 1,200 miles across Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia? Atlas Mountains. Which centrally located city replaced Dar es Salaam as the national capital of Tanzania in 1974? Dodoma. What is the name of the body of water that separates the North and South Islands of New Zealand? Cook Strait. Which 12th century sultan of Egypt and Syria recaptured Jerusalem in 1187 and negotiated a truce with King Richard the Lionheart? Saladin. Which federal lawmakers became directly elected by the public following the ratification of the 17th Amendment in 1913? U.S. Senators. Which major river names the Rift Valley located above the Socorro Magma Basin in New Mexico? Rio Grande. Which Spanish city located on the Mediterranean Sea hosted the 1992 Summer Olympic Games? Barcelona. What historic aviation feat did teenager Zara Rutherford accomplish solo during her gap year in 2021? Flying around the world. What papal name did Cardinal Karol Wojtyla adopt when he was elected Pope in 1978? John Paul II. What acronym stands for the intergovernmental organization consisting of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and other expanding nations? BRICS. Which Spanish kingdom did Queen Isabella I of Castile add to her domain in 1479 through her marriage to Ferdinand II? Aragon. Which historic United States Navy aircraft carrier, named after an insect, is preserved as a museum ship in Alameda, California? USS Hornet. Which two major East Coast cities, located roughly 200 miles north and south of New York City, were connected by the original Eastern Airlines shuttle? Boston and Washington, D.C. What right, allowing citizens to gather peaceably for public gatherings or protests, is guaranteed by the First Amendment? Assemble. Whose name is used as an informal term for a signature due to his large endorsement on the U.S. Declaration of Independence? John Hancock. Which physical disability is traditionally attributed to the ancient Greek poet Homer? Blindness. Literature and art. Hazel Grace Lancaster is the teenage protagonist of which best-selling 2012 young adult novel by John Green? The Fault in Our Stars. Which famous literary character is introduced in a chapter titled Down the Rabbit Hole, while sitting idly by a riverbank with her sister? Alice. Which classic James Thurber short story about a daydreamer was adapted into a 2013 film directed by and starring Ben Stiller? The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. What single-letter name belongs to James Bond's boss and the head of MI6 in the Ian Fleming novels? What is the full title of Bertolt Brecht's 1939 anti-war play about a woman named Mother Anna Fearling? Mother Courage and Her Children. Which Russian-French avant-garde artist painted Homage to Apollinaire during his early years in Paris? Marc Chagall. Which late Renaissance art style, known for artificiality and elongated figures, is exemplified by Parmigianino's Self-Portrait in a Convex Mirror? Mannerism. Which American author drew upon her early life in Nebraska to write classic novels like O Pioneers and My Antonia? Willa Cather. What is the English title of the popular children's book translated into Spanish as Nublado con probabilidades de albóndigas? Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Which two opposite theatrical genres was 18th century actor David Garrick famously adept at performing? Tragedy and comedy. Pop culture, entertainment, and sports. Which critically acclaimed AMC period drama, focused on a 1960s advertising agency, features RJD2's instrumental track, A Beautiful Mind, as its theme song? Mad Men. In which 2018 science fiction action film does Jason Statham battle a massive, prehistoric megalodon shark? The Meg. What popular two-word phrase emerged as a viral retort used to dismiss outdated views of people born between 1946 and 1964? Okay, Boomer. Which iconic wildfire prevention mascot, introduced in 1944, is the only individual besides Santa Claus to be assigned his own unique U.S. zip code? Smokey Bear. Which Philadelphia 76ers guard is a fan favorite known for his high-energy play? Tyrese Maxey. Which long-running NBC sketch comedy show featured Chloe Fineman, Sarah Sherman, and Ego Newdom in its 49th season? Saturday Night Live. Which Argentine soccer superstar was named FIFA's Men's Player of the Year in 2023, 2022, and 6 previous times? Lionel Messi. Which werewolf character from the Twilight Saga tells Bella Swan that vampires are his traditional enemies? Jacob Black. Which iconic British fashion model and actress, known for her pixie haircut and large eyes, rose to fame during the 1960s swinging London scene? Twiggy. Which prominent political couple and family members of Donald Trump were assigned the Secret Service code names Marvel and Mechanic? Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. Before relocating to Madison, which Alabama city did the minor league baseball team formerly known as the Bay Bears call home? Mobile. What distinct mechanical nickname did NFL linebacker Jack Reynolds earn after using a logging tool to cut a car in half? Hacksaw. Which sprawling California estate, built by a famous publishing tycoon, features a grand mansion overlooking San Simeon? Hearst Castle. Which Catholic saint and humanitarian accepted the 1979 Nobel Peace Prize in the name of the hungry, the naked, the homeless? Mother Teresa. Business, language, and wordplay. What game involves tossing small, circular rings or ropes onto a peg? Quoits. What criminal term describes the theft or misappropriation of funds placed in one's trust? Embezzlement. What word refers to the official introduction or launch of a new product, especially fitting for wheeled items? Rollout. What 4-letter word describes a person known for profound wisdom? Sage. What pungent soft cheese shares its name with a province in Belgium? Limburger. What was the original name of the Willis Tower in Chicago, by which many locals still refer to it? Sears Tower. What major change to his personal head appearance did the last Ashikaga shogun make when he became a Buddhist monk? Shaving his head. What financial term, meaning the sale or liquidation of a subsidiary or division, comes from an Anglo-French word meaning to undress? Divestiture. What is the study or art of bell ringing, which sounds like the study of a summer camp? Campanology. Which famous brand of Tennessee whiskey is known for its Old No. 7 label? Jack Daniels. Which South Korean automotive manufacturer produces vehicle models named after the American cities Tucson and Santa Fe? Hyundai. In the folklore of Snow White, which dwarf has the longest name? Bashful. Walter Lord's 1955 book, A Night to Remember, details the historic sinking of which maritime vessel? Titanic. What phrase pairs a short biographical sketch with a musical ensemble of 3 people? Bio trio. What 8-letter word is a direct synonym for danger or hazard? Jeopardy! In which Olympic sport do athletes perform expressive routines using apparatuses like hoops, ribbons, balls, and clubs? Rhythmic gymnastics. What automotive comfort measurement refers to the space available for passengers' legs, measuring 40.4 inches in the rear of a Volvo S90? Legroom. What term is commonly used in Great Britain to refer to hot oatmeal or oat porridge? Porridge. What mathematical answer do you get when you divide Stephen Covey's number of highly effective habits by Heinrich Harrer's years in Tibet? 1. What alliterative name is given to an automatic, self-playing mechanical piano? Player piano. What North American songbird is known for its bright red plumage and distinct crest? Cardinal. What type of auto consumer protection policy commonly spans 3 years or 36,000 miles? Warranty. What hyphenated agricultural technique involves cutting down and burning forest vegetation to create fertile farming plots? Slash and burn. What 2 terms can combine to mean slightly open and an Indian noble or ruler? Ajar Raj. What slang term describes films that apply classic Western movie tropes to rural Irish historical settings? Spud Western. What historical form of one-on-one duel was often used in the Middle Ages to settle legal or political disputes? Combat. What common English phrase translates the Latin idiom, de gustibus non est disputandum? There is no accounting for taste. What dental procedure, aimed at treating infection inside the pulp of a tooth, is formally known as endodontic therapy? Root canal. What term describes a suit jacket or coat style featuring front flaps that overlap extensively with 2 parallel columns of buttons? Double-breasted. Combining the world's largest island and a major South American mountain range creates what name? Greenland Andes.